Hello, welcome to Nursing with Professor B. My name is Bridget. I'm a family nurse practitioner. In today's video, I will be going over 10 signs of pregnancy before a missed period. Without further ado, let's get started. All right. So sign or symptom number 1 is tender and enlarged breasts. So right before you're going to get your period, I don't know about you, but for me, my breasts do get sore. So I do experience soreness, but they don't enlarge. So if you feel like your breasts have suddenly enlarged, then you might be pregnant. Number 2, if you suddenly start to develop nausea with or without vomiting. You might think, oh, I ate some leftovers last night. It didn't sit well with my stomach, or I had some Chipotle. Again, like maybe it was contaminated. But if you start to feel like it's reoccurring, and like I said before, it can be nausea with or without vomiting. So you don't necessarily have to vomit, but if you start to experience episodes of nausea, then you might be pregnant. Also, if you start to notice increased urination, you are drinking the same amount of water as usual, and all of a sudden you feel like, man, I have to go to the bathroom a lot. Keep in mind, increased urination is also a sign of diabetes. So if you are having increased urination, polydipsia, which is increased thirst, polyuria, increased urination, and polyphagia, which is you want to eat a lot, you're eating, you're just hungry, you're insatiable, go see your healthcare provider. Symptom number 4 is tiredness or fatigue. Let's say that all of a sudden, you slept your full 6 or 7 hours that you usually sleep, and you're like, man, I just can't get going today. I'm so tired. You could be pregnant, my friend. Some of the less common signs of pregnancy are moodiness, mood changes, being emotional, crying. But I don't know about you, but for me, I get very moody before my period comes. So a lot of these symptoms correlate with your period. So you have to just be very in tune with your body, and when in doubt, take a pregnancy test. If you're normally a person that's very level-headed, you don't cry at commercials, and now you see a commercial come on and it has you in tears, you might be pregnant. If you notice that you are bloated, and again, bloating, also I get bloated before my period. If you notice that maybe you're more bloated than usual, or you don't normally bloat before your period and now you're bloated, you might be pregnant. Now, the next one, not every woman gets this, but you have to be very careful, and it's spotting. And unfortunately, a lot of women, and I say unfortunately because that's how sometimes women end up on, I didn't know I was pregnant. So sometimes women will mistake spotting for a very light period. Okay, spotting can occur when the egg is actually implanting into the uterus. If you want to be extra cautious when you get those first few drops of blood and you're worried that you might be pregnant, let's say you had unprotected sex, you had a one-night stand, whatever, judgment-free zone, take a pregnancy test. Another less common symptom of pregnancy is constipation. Now, a little bit of TMI for you, but I'm very regular. I'm a vegan, so I eat a lot of fiber in my diet. So I'm super regular, right? Every day I go, right? So if you're someone that's very regular and all of a sudden you just can't poop for the life of you, you might be pregnant. And symptom number 10, another less common one, number 10, is food aversion or even cravings. So what I mean by that is, let's say that you are ambivalent towards pickles, right? And all of a sudden, like, you're just craving pickles like crazy. You're like, my mouth is watering. I need a pickle right now, right? On the other hand, let's say you usually like pickles and now you're like, ugh. Like, just the thought of eating a pickle gives you reflux, you just get nauseous right away. That's a sign you might be pregnant. And also increased sensitivity to certain food odors. So you smell something and before it didn't really affect you, and now you're just like, oh, I can't stand this, right? And a bonus symptom of pregnancy, because I'm a little bit of an overachiever, I'm working on that, is nasal congestion. So if you notice that your nose is stuffier than normal, maybe you don't, my nose is always stuffy, so this one would not work because I have chronic allergies. But if you're someone that you can breathe in, inhale and exhale, and all is good with the world, and your nose works like it should, and all of a sudden you're like, I'm super congested. you might be pregnant, or you could just have allergies, but that's something. And the reason that that happens is that hormone changes cause the mucous membranes in your nose to enlarge. So it swells up and then you can't breathe as well through your nose. So if you're not sure, please take a pregnancy test, okay? You don't have to go to a physician's office to get a super expensive test. You can get pregnancy tests at Target, Walmart. Personally, I don't know, I wouldn't trust the dollar store brands as much. I would go for one of those that is like earliest sign of pregnancy, can detect, like, I think it says like 4 days before a missed period. I would go for one of those, like Clear Blue or something like that. If you're not sure, take a pregnancy test. When do you take a pregnancy test? Excellent question. I'm glad you asked that. You can take most pregnancy tests the first day of a missed period. If you have an irregular period, you can take a pregnancy test 21 days after you last had unprotected sex. Okay? And if it comes out negative and you want to be extra safe, take it 7 days later. You know, box brings several. So you can take 21 days. If your period is irregular, you can take 2 pregnancy tests after 21 days after unprotected sex. Try it again in a few days. So if you're worried about being pregnant, you can do 21 days after unprotected sex, and then try another one 5 to 7 days later. Make sure it's still negative. Thank you so much for watching. If you found value in this video, make sure you leave a comment below. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the notification bell. If you were already pregnant before, what was your earliest sign of pregnancy that clued you into, maybe I'm pregnant? All right, until next time.